Hello YouTube, back at you with another video. It's another nice day. I just got off work, so I figured I'd go out for a bike ride and bring you guys with. I'm just going to cruise around, probably downtown. We're currently in the Oregon District neighborhood. As I've mentioned in the previous video, this is the newest house to be built in this neighborhood. This area right here we're in has an interesting history because this used to be part of the Miami-Erie Canal. This building here, the canal would have ran right along the side of this building. And where the street here we're on now, there would have been a footbridge that went over the canal. So all these buildings here and structures were along the canal on that side, and this building here would have been along the canal on that side. Hey, is that a lottery? That's a lottery?
It's a raffle drum.
Oh yeah, what raffle drum?
Yeah,
cool.
No, it's just for an event we're doing. We always borrow their raffle drum.
It's fancy with the brass.
It does. It looks like it's good.
Beautiful day. So yeah, back in the late 1800s, up until I think around the 1920s, Dayton would have had a very European feel because, you know, all the canals and such that ran through the city, you know, all the footbridges. Ooh, it's really cold under here. We've seen this before, Dave Chappelle and Allison Janney murals. I know they're doing some work here. I'm not too sure what they are going to do with it. As you see, it says welcome to Dayton. Baggage claimed at coachside. That's because this used to be the Greyhound station. The Greyhound station in Dayton technically isn't even in Dayton anymore. It's in Trotwood, Ohio. Ooh, it's chilly right here. You get in the sun, it feels good, but in that shade, it's pretty chilly. To the left is the Regional Transit Authority bus hub. Always a lot of violence at the bus hub. That's why you see heavy police presence. So today's another beautiful day. I'd say the temperature is probably around 70 degrees. For years, I've been under the impression that adults legally had to ride their bikes in the street. That's not true at all. There is no state or federal law that says you cannot ride a bicycle on the sidewalk. However, if you do ride a bike on the sidewalk, you do need to yield to pedestrians. But yeah, used to, police around here would stop you, say, oh, you're supposed to be riding in the street. Yeah, that was just a made up excuse to stop people. What's up, man? Looks like they've made some progress here on the fountain. John Kennedy. They got tore up pretty good through here. I don't know if they're trying to widen the street or what. This right here is the Schuster Performing Arts Center. I like that building straight ahead. I think that's a Art Deco, Chicago style architecture. This here is Ludlow Street, by the way. Never been down this alley here. So this summer we'll probably go to a few museums. There's the Packard Museum, which is the only museum dedicated to only Packards, and it is, I believe, the largest collection of Packards So I'll probably go there. Maybe we'll go to the Art Institute. And definitely Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Straight ahead there, that's the Montgomery County Jail. All those little square windows are the cells. Westminster Church Chapel office entrance. Cool. Right there's a fancy house. Big, nice Victorian. For whatever reason, my neighborhood, South Park, which is basically the adjacent neighborhood to downtown, for whatever reason, it is considered to the city as part of downtown. But I don't really consider my neighborhood downtown. But as far as I know, like the only actual like houses that are downtown are these two places right here next to each other. We're like the last of the houses that are in downtown area. And this place here was probably initially a residence. This building here is new, or fairly new. That's an old walk signal button there. Well, I guess here's another old house, but it seems like with this street here, this is Monument. This is the only street that still has like the old houses, as far as I'm aware of downtown. The guy didn't, he hasn't even bothered looking this way. I want to take you guys to the oldest building in downtown Dayton, Ohio. Here, we'll start off on this side so you get a better view. I believe it was built in 1839. I think it has a plaque on it, so it should say. There it is, that little white duplex looking building here with the pink doors. That's the oldest building in downtown Dayton. Let's see if we can cross here. 1829 is when it was built. And that's the oldest building still standing here in Dayton, Ohio. You see those rectangle things with the bolt in it? What those are for is so the side here, the building don't bulge out. Basically those things, they tie the structure together. If you ever look at in Venice, you know, Venice is literally, it's like the mangroves in Florida. It's just like swampland. And a lot of the brick buildings in Venice are built in that style of construction. They run a steel rod, several steel rods clean through the building and to brace it from basically coming apart. Dude was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. haven't looked up the schedule, but sometime later this month, I do believe, the Dragons season starts. Fresh peanuts. Look at all them peanuts. Peanuts, peanuts, peanuts. Jesus Christ. I wonder if those are old seats. Yeah, I imagine those are old seats. I'd love to have a row of those seats. Yeah, I have to look it up. I'm not too sure when the Dragons schedule starts, but clearly they're adding a complete addition to the stadium here. I don't know if that's going to have more seating or what. Pretty interesting though, but it doesn't look anywhere complete. Like, are they going to be working on the new construction at the same time? Gameplay will be taking place. I suspected a few years ago that they would start probably doing some upgrades to the stadium, because it is now a quarter century old. I mean, this I'll probably get a copyright strike on that. You know, I've always suspected that, a lot of us don't exchange phone numbers anymore. Everybody just says, well, my Facebook is blah, blah, blah. And we call each other through Messenger. And I've always suspected that Messenger either sells information about your phone calls through Messenger, or they sell bits of information that would help other platforms. But anywho, the other day I was on the phone with a friend, talking through Messenger, and we were talking about U.S. territories that you can travel to without a passport. And I mentioned Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Not even 5 minutes after I got off the phone with my friend, as soon as I logged on to my YouTube, I was getting videos suggested U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Even though I hadn't searched either of those places, The reason we're here is I do believe this is a World War II park dedicated to the soldiers we lost in the war. And here's the names of all those individuals. I'm guessing these are individuals specifically from Ohio. We are here. It says Veterans of Foreign Wars, Kettering Memorial Post 9927. Proud to be an American. Veterans of all wars. This is just a soldier monument. I don't believe that it is of any specific individual. But they need to replace the flags though. Look at that flag. See how the flag there is tethered? Both of them. This bench says the same as the other one. And here's another plaque here with more names. David L. Sabeck Memorial VFW Post 9582, 1994, Vandalia, Ohio, 1995. All gave some gave all. And this bench here, it says the same thing this bench does. Here's more names. It looks like it starts here. Starts on this one, goes to that one, then goes to that one. It says this memorial and all veteran memorial walkway is dedicated to all who served in the military during the Korean War, especially those who made the supreme sacrifice and those missing in action. This is a place for their family and friends to come and know their loved ones are not forgotten. U.S. casualties, June 25th, 1950, July 27th, 1953. Dead, 54,246. Wounded, 103,284. Missing, 8,182. Prisoners of war, 7,000. This side says the heroic, selfless, and invaluable contribution of the Army nurses to the eminent success of the Army medical service throughout the Korean conflict is beyond the power of words to extol. Certainly, it says certainly you have exchanged. I'm sorry. It says certainly you have enhanced in the highest degree the esteemed record of the glorious and gallant Army Nurses Corps General Matthew B. Ridgway. It says little has been written about the women's role during the Korean War, but much is remembered about those angels in O.D, well, I'm not sure what that is, whose hospitals were tents called MASH units, hence the TV show called MASH. Often in sound of gunfire and direct threat of loss of life during the Korean War, over 2,000 women saw duty. These nurses are credited in helping bring the ratio of wounded to deaths to the lowest factor of any American war. To that point, we choose to honor those brave and gallant women by sharing a few quotes of two individuals who experienced firsthand their valor. with Army nurses somewhere in Korea. 1951, it says, "This is the story of the Army nurses, a small group of women so devoted and so humble in their service here to the wounded fighting men of all countries that they seem a species apart from ordinary people. I have met these girls in forward mobile and field hospitals, watched them at work and belated with them for days at a time throughout their light and heavy loads of the wounded, often in their army slacks and olive drabe sweaters pulled over, rough shirts. They don't even look like women but field soldiers, yet they are women in the richest and most merciful sense. Women who sometimes show stress at the demands of their skill, embrace, and courage, who react with the human, though controlled emotions to terrible sights and conditions. I keep getting bit by a bug. Conditions, but never quit. No praise can be too exaggerated. Too extravagant for the great physical and psychological contributions that they are making. For not only do they know how to handle the complicated medical equipment and process the anesthetics, the splints, the blood that will heal and save what guns and machinery have sought to destroy, they also understand above all, because they have brothers and fathers and sweethearts, how to talk to the wounded in spirit, to ease their mental shock, to free their minds." Gertrude Samuels. I should have probably tried reading that without my shades on. I got really such dark shades, you can't really, it makes things look like nighttime. Anyway, this little plaque here, it says, "As you enter this area, the memorial to your right, the gray granite tablets list alphabetically by county the 3,625 Ohioans killed as a result of the Korean War, dedicated September 9th, 1995. Says Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 31, Military Order of the Purple Heart, Department of Ohio, Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 625, Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 620, Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 9, AMVETS Post 24, and Ladies Auxiliary, VFW 9927, 3rd District of Ohio, VFW 3283. This is just basically recognizing the different chapters and such. It says Third Korean Winter. All these names here on this side are POW, prisoners of war. All the names on this side are Korean War. It says to honor Jack L. Perry, youngest prisoner of war during the Korean War combat at age 15, captured at the bench says International Union of Operating Engineers, Local Union 18. says the same thing. It says Chrysler IUE Local 775, Wesley Wells, President IUE Local 758, Marvin Neargarden, President. I don't know if you guys can see that. I think it's a DC-10 carrier. Coming out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Oh, he's turning this way. I just threw that big rock out of the street because a rock like that can skip out from underneath a car tire and hit you in your shin and make you think you got shot, because it also makes a loud boom. It goes pow. Yeah, I was walking a Kroger years ago and a rock skipped out from underneath the car tire. First, obviously, it made a big pop noise, and then I instantly felt my shin. Oh man, it put a big welt on my leg. I had to walk with a limp for a few months. Then I called the city. I was like, yeah, y'all need to do something about this street falling apart. It's causing bodily damage to people. They're like, oh, you know, it's in the works to be fixed. 20 years later, they're fixing it now. See, here's a photo of the canal. And this is that building I was telling you about, or where we were at in the beginning of the video. Ain't even looking. See? Wasn't even looking. See, most motorists, they only look in the direction of the flow of traffic that's important to them. They don't think about pedestrians. We're bicyclists. But it wouldn't matter around here. My sister was hit by a car in the crosswalk with a walk signal in front of a fire station, witnessed by firefighters. The woman was driving for a local pizza company. She was on the clock delivering pizzas. She was hired without insurance. And my sister's mental health went downhill from this. She had to have double knee replacement and everything else. Her mental health went downhill. Anyway, this local lawyer shenanigans pay the people, Dyer, Garofalo, Mann and Schultz, they dropped her and said that she was too mentally unstable for them to continue to represent her. But her mental illness, her mental issues happened because of her getting hit by a car. But what I think happened is, I think that the company who the woman was working for settled out of court. And then, shortly thereafter, my mother, who just so happened to work at this company, they ended up firing my mom. She was sick one day. She didn't feel well. She asked to have be reassigned a different, position for the day. They're like, you're fired. The name of this company is Casinos. Anyway, the woman that hit my sister, her father was a retired police sergeant for Dayton, so that probably helped in her favor. Yeah, I've got a lot of friends that's had knee replacements, elbow replacements, shoulder replacements and whatnot, and they complain all the time. I've never heard my sister complain about her knees. Not that doesn't mean, that they don't, bother her, but she doesn't complain about it. But yeah, if I'm a lawyer and my client fell into some mental illness because of a trauma that she went through, that's I'm adding that to the damage. I'm not going to fire my client. That's damage done right there. That's helping me solidify the lawsuit. That's why I think that Garofalo got a pretty decent settlement. I mean, there were firefighters that witnessed this woman run a red light and hit my sister. Ironically, not too long after that, I never heard of Dyer Garofalo, Mann and Schultz. Up until right after they dropped my sister. A couple months later, next thing you know, now they got commercials on TV. Commercials are expensive. It seemed like they didn't have any money before. But that's just my theory. But irregardless of the civil suit or whatever, the woman faced absolutely no charges. She didn't receive a ticket or nothing. So it is true. It is true what they say. A lot of times it's not what you know, but who you know. Anyway, the moral to the story is, if you're a motorist, be careful. Look out for others. If you're a pedestrian, don't put your trust in others. If you're a bicyclist, don't put your trust in others. As you see, they will fail to look your way. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up. It helps to helps the channel to grow. I hope everybody has a blessed day and a great weekend ahead. Until next time.